It begins quietly. No explosion. No warning shot across the sky, just a signal. A heat signature rises from the Korean peninsula before dawn. Satellites register it instantly. Algorithms wake up. Screens change color. In less than a minute, the question reaches every command center that matters. Is this real? Because if it is, history has just crossed a line it has spent 70 years carefully avoiding. This is not a test, not a demonstration, not a message written in smoke. This is the first missile of a real war, and once it leaves the ground, nothing can stop what comes next. To understand what would happen if North Korea fired the first missile, we have to be precise. Not dramatic for the sake of drama, but realistic. Modern war does not begin with speeches or declarations. It begins with data. The Korean peninsula has lived under tension since 1953. The war never ended. It only paused. Armistice lines froze the fighting, not the hostility. Missiles replaced infantry. Radar replaced trenches. Missile tests have happened before, many times, but always with ambiguity. Launched into the sea, wrapped in denials, framed as exercises. This scenario removes all ambiguity. A missile fired toward a populated target is not signaling. It is not leverage. It is a decision. The missile itself matters. North Korea's arsenal is layered and deliberate. Short-range ballistic missiles aimed at South Korea. Fast, mobile, and difficult to preempt. Medium-range systems capable of reaching Japan. Designed to stretch regional defenses. Long-range platforms meant to prove that distance does not equal safety. These missiles are fast. Once launched, physics takes over. They rise, arc, and fall at extreme speed. During re-entry, some travel faster than Mach 5. From launch to impact, the window for response is brutally small. A missile aimed at Seoul could arrive before most civilians fully understand the alert. 10 minutes. Sometimes less. That narrow window defines everything that follows. The first consequence is detection. Infrared satellites detect the launch plume within seconds. Regional radars confirm trajectory almost immediately. Automated systems classify the threat. Range, speed, probable target. Humans are already racing the clock. Within 30 seconds, Allied forces know this is not a drill. The second consequence is alert. Emergency warning systems activate. Phones vibrate across entire cities. Sirens echo through apartment blocks and underground corridors. Millions wake up to a message they have only seen during drills. Seek shelter immediately. This is not an exercise. Transportation systems halt. Trains stop mid-route. Air traffic freezes. Subways become bunkers. Parking garages become shelters. For civilians, there is no detailed explanation. No countdown clock. Only uncertainty. Fear fills the silence instantly. The third consequence is interception. Missile defense systems activate automatically. Patriot batteries lock on. Sea-based interceptors calculate firing solutions. Terminal defense systems prepare for final engagement. Interception is possible, but never guaranteed. Missile defense is probability, not certainty. An interceptor might miss. Another might collide successfully. Debris may still fall. Even a successful interception does not restore safety. It only confirms intent. If the missile is intercepted, the world exhales for a moment. Then reality returns. Because interception does not erase the act. A missile launched toward civilians is an act of war whether it lands or not. That conclusion is unavoidable. If the missile reaches its target, escalation is immediate. A conventional warhead devastates a localized area. Buildings collapse. Infrastructure fails. Power grids go dark. Hospitals are overwhelmed within minutes. Emergency services struggle to reach victims. Casualties reach into the thousands within the first day. If the payload is nuclear, even at low yield, the world enters a new phase. Radiation spreads beyond the blast zone. Evacuation areas expand rapidly. Long-term contamination becomes unavoidable. The assumption that nuclear weapons are merely political tools collapses in real time. The fourth consequence is retaliation. This is where time compresses even further. Military doctrine does not allow prolonged debate after a confirmed strike. Waiting increases risk. South Korea responds first. Precision strikes target launch sites, command centers, and missile infrastructure. The objective is immediate and clear. Prevent a second launch. The United States elevates readiness across the region simultaneously. Naval forces reposition. Air assets deploy. Cyber operations disrupt communications. These actions happen in parallel, not sequence. The fifth consequence is escalation risk. Once retaliation begins, uncertainty multiplies. Every radar contact looks suspicious. Every aircraft movement appears hostile. Every system glitch becomes a potential warning. Decision-makers must separate signal from noise under extreme pressure. This is where miscalculation becomes deadly. This is how wars expand beyond original intent. The sixth consequence is regional involvement. Japan activates full defensive posture. Ports shut down. Civil defense measures expand nationwide. Any missile crossing Japanese airspace changes the political equation instantly. Guam becomes a focal point. Military installations shift to maximum readiness. China mobilizes forces near its border not to join the war but to contain chaos. Stability becomes the priority. Russia increases readiness in the Far East for the same reason. No major power can afford surprise. The seventh consequence is global shock. Markets react in minutes. Stock indices plunge. Currencies swing violently. Shipping lanes through East Asia freeze. Insurance coverage evaporates. Energy prices surge worldwide. Factories dependent on regional supply chains slow or shut down. This is not only a military crisis. It is a global systems shock. Diplomacy begins almost immediately. Emergency meetings, urgent calls, statements drafted under pressure. But diplomacy now operates in damaged conditions. Trust is gone. Leverage has shifted. Lives have already been lost. Words move slower than missiles. Comparison matters. During the Cold War, warning times were longer. Decision cycles allowed minutes of human discussion. Today, hypersonic speeds compress those windows dramatically. Leaders are forced to make irreversible choices with incomplete information. Technology has outpaced restraint. The deeper impact is psychological. Once the first missile is fired, a mental threshold is crossed. Every future test looks like preparation. Every drill feels like a countdown. Civilian populations adjust to permanent alertness. Emergency notifications become routine. Shelters become part of daily life. The idea of lasting stability on the peninsula disappears overnight, and this leads to the most dangerous assumption of all, that escalation can be controlled. History suggests otherwise. Wars rarely spiral because leaders want them to. They spiral because systems interact faster than judgment. One launch triggers another response. One misread signal amplifies fear. Control becomes an illusion sustained by hope. So what if North Korea fired the first missile? The answer is not a single explosion. It is a chain reaction. A region destabilized in minutes. A world forced into decisions at machine speed. A future rewritten without consensus. Every system described here already exists. Every response plan is already written. The only variable is restraint, which leaves the question that matters most. Not who fires the first missile, but who decides whether the second one follows, and once that line is crossed, whether anyone can truly stop what comes next.